The Dario, wow. It seems like your engineers are always figuring out new alloys and new types of strings. It's a company that folds in environmentalism and recycled packaging, and all of that feels good, but the bottom line, the strings are great.
Hey there, welcome to Rig Rundown. I'm Adrian Belew. This is Blair White. And
I'm still Ted Drozdowski.
He's still Ted. That's good news, I'm glad. And we're going to show you this new rig. First of all, let me explain why I have a new rig, because I'm doing this thing with Steve Vai, Danny Carey, and Tony Levin called Beats, and we're going back in time to the 80s music of King Crimson. And really, I thought about it a lot and thought, I can play a lot of that with what my normal rig was, but there's some things that would be missing, especially the synthesizer bits that were so important to that music back then. So, with two people named Thomas Nordig, who is going on tour with me, and Ed Clothier, we got together and we said, okay, here's how we need to do this. I told them all the things I thought I needed. They built this system in LA, and I wasn't able to be there to oversee it. We got it and we started on it, and that's where Blair White came in, and he's been here he lives here now, in fact. He's just been here.
I'm staying right over there.
He's staying in the Fripp suite.
I took Fripp's room, yeah.
So right off the bat, I had tons of problems because I'm not great with technology, believe it or not. I'm good at making it do funny things. That's what I can do. And what I ultimately realized is that some of the things that I thought were going to work out didn't. So Blair had to rebuild a lot of stuff and make it all work for me. So now I've got the system. I still have yet to be able to rehearse with it, but that's okay, we'll get there. So I'm going to tell you about it. It's two systems. This part here that starts with the mastermind, it's the MIDI controller, is the old system that I had, and over here, part of this is what I already had. Here's your volume control. And here's your expression pedal. In this case, it turns the volume, turns things backwards. And right next to it is a harmony man, and as you can see, it was already a fifth up, because what I do is I do that. Little things like that with the harmony man. Here's a compressor that's always on. And right now we have this expression pedal, which is part of the vintage rig, but it's over here.
And it's marked Deco control. It can't be that vintage, right?
It's actually not going to be that.
Okay.
We're still working on this, folks.
Okay.
I want to say, by the way, by the time you see this, I should be playing this on stage. So I'm going to reveal a lot of secrets here that you won't know about until you see the band, I hope, or see this. Yeah. So first of all, they sent me this box that Boss has that allows me to plug in my Parker Fly, Adrian Belew model Parker Fly, with this 13-pin cord and still not have a MIDI, like a synthesizer or anything here. Usually you have to go through something like that to get to play the guitar with this stuff. So there's one little secret thing in there, but I'm not going to tell you quite about it right now. Blair take over for a moment
Okay.
and talk about this stuff right here. Don't go over there.
Yeah. So we got basically he was talking about we got the Boss adapter, which takes his hexaphonic pickup into the Parker Fly and lets it play out of normal guitar pedals. Super handy. It goes into the Empress compressor Mark II, which goes into the little secret boy that we're not going to talk about, and then it goes back out to the Digitech Harmony Man, and then into the Fractal Axe Effects. And so that is all in the rack.
And there's
is
a
back
power.
here.
There's a power box over there too. Is
Yeah,
that right?
it's a
What are you
Big
using?
Joe lithium power box. So it's
Okay.
battery powered. So you can this rig right here takes very little current draw. So it just allows you to power a few pedals for a few hours, recharge it every night. Be all good. But yeah, so the volume and the expression pedal all are controlling the Axe Effects, which
Okay.
is an Axe Effects Ultra, not a 3 or Pro or anything like that. It's very specific. Lots of the algorithms that are in there are not available on the newer models, and you cannot transfer the algorithms to the newer models.
Okay.
And that's why I'm still using it, because I wrote several hundred programs with it that you can't reproduce beyond that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
one day, Matt Picone and I, my buddy from XFX, are going to put our heads together, be Siamese twins for a minute, and figure out how to move me from that to the future, but not right now.
And is the volume pedal there also involved in the with the pedals in the rack, or is that routed through the
no.
other board here?
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
No.
We'll get to that.
Let's
Okay.
move over to the next part here. That's why I took the guitar off. So you have a modern rig. This is the modern rig that I have been using for my trio and Bowie, Talking Heads, and everything else I've been doing recently. What we added though is the vintage part of it. This is my original GR300, the one I played with King Crimson in 1981. Was played on things like Industry, Sheltering Sky, Three of a Perfect Pair. All that music was done, and that's why I didn't feel like I could actually do it right without this. What you have here, this is the volume pedal for this unit. Anything connected to it, this is the volume pedal. Then right here, this is something special built. It's a Boss FV500, and what is different about it is that we've made it a mix pedal. So it goes between guitar, when it's in this, the toe, like down like this, then down it's the synthesizer. So hold on. I don't know if you've seen this guitar before. This is called the Twang Bar King guitar. And this baby requires a 21 pin plug. Can you imagine? Look how big this plug is. And it's pretty old stuff, but it's working. So what you get here, you put this halfway between this knob here, and so you're getting, when you like this, you're getting guitar. Put this down. There you go. GR300 synthesizer.
With a dramatic flourish.
With the flourish, yeah. This goes over to here, to this rack, and I'm going to let Blair take it from there. Because these are the things that we changed, and Blair has been the person who's been responsible for doing that.
Yeah, so we come straight in from the guitar and we go into the Jam Pedals Dinosaur compressor. And that is an always-on thing that is not a part of the Mini FX gizmo or the Mastermind control. It just stays on, kind of part of that classic Adrian Belew sound, kind of mimicking the old MXR, Ross compressors, lots of squish, lots of sustain. From there, we go into the late 70s. It's a V4 op-amp Big Muff with tone bypass. That's in a shared loop with the MXR 10-band EQ. And that stays together for some fun, weird oscillation, crazy loud fuzz noises. That goes from there. We go over to the Strymon Deco. That's the V2, so it's kind of starts our MIDI chain there. We've got some cool sounds out of that as far as getting some good warmth out of the jazz chorus. The tape saturation side does a really great job at making that solid state amp not sound like sterile and squishy a little bit. Tape flanging and the chorusing on that is also super killer. So it's nice to be able to kind of switch back and forth between multiple sounds with that pedal. Then we've got the Eventide H9, which is just does anything that you need it to. Always a great piece to have in the rack. That goes to the Source Audio new Artifact, which is a lo-fi pedal. The name is a little deceptive, though. It has got a lot of really cool sounds in it. It's got gated fuzzes in it. It's got reverbs. It's got chorusing and modulation and ring mod and all kinds of cool stuff. We've been having a good time getting some good sounds out of that. And then from there, we go to the Source Audio Nemesis delay. And that is doing most of the heavy lifting as far as delay is concerned. And also some cool pitch shifting that we found when we were tweaking some stuff around, not using it like a delay, just using the pitch shifting setting to kind of create some octave and 12-string stuff. And then out of that, it goes into the Lichtalarm key and gate, which is just a simple, stupid one knob noise gate that just makes sure everything is nice and tight and quiet when no one is playing. And that's it.
Hey y'all, I'm John Bohlinger with Premier Guitar. So our rig rundowns for a long time now have been sponsored by D'Addario. And I'm thrilled to be using the D'Addario Expand Pedalboard. I've got this little guy that fits in my gig bag, and like many of you, I'm changing pedals all the time. I love having a board that can shrink as I'm shrinking my board or expand as I'm expanding it. And that's why I love the Expand Pedalboard. Their patented telescoping technology lets me instantly change the size of my pedal's playground. It also features a unique cable management system and comes fitted with loops of Velcro, keeping everything neat and easy to swap. The two Expand versions comes with either 1 or 2 rows depending on your needs. So a big thanks to D'Addario. Now, let's get back to more rig rundowns.
Cool. And Adrian, is there anything special you're looking for in the Eventide? A couple of go-to settings, or are you just, I
have a few things that I have already written into it. I don't know if they'll make it into this music. Mm-hmm. You have to understand, I'm specifically trying to do certain things.
Yes.
So a lot of my wonderful sounds that I like and tricks that I would normally try to play may not work in this set. So we'll have to see when we get to rehearsal in August.
Yeah, I'm sure there have been a lot of discoveries since that.
All of
King
this
Crimson.
is going, the vintage stuff all goes back through. This is also the original jazz chorus amp. I started using that with David Bowie in 1977, 78, and on from there with Talking Heads, and then all through King Crimson. So this is the one.
Wow, for something that long-lived, it's in remarkable condition.
I
Great shape.
try to take really good care of everything of mine. I'm that kind of messed up person. I wanted to say something about this because back then I used to go.
Yes, you did.
Like that, right? That was always this big muff. And I always put it through a certain kind of EQ, which really accented the mids a lot. And it's always on that 10 band. Well, he had to bring over a box of a bunch of different, because he has East Side Music Supply. They have all kinds of great pedals and all kinds of gear.
In Nashville.
And he is an expert at them. So Blair brought over all these because we found out that out of all the variations, there are 8 Big Muff pedals, only one would do that sound. We had to. We spent so many days trying all these things, so we really have vetted. Yeah. How's that for a term?
That's a good term.
All the stuff that it's in here to get it to be what I need. I'm really happy with the new Source Audio stuff because it just did what I needed. Especially the Nemesis. It's so easy to dial up the delay you want. Boom, there it is, A little harder for me with the H9 because you got to get in there and turn pages and things, but it's got everything too. And then the Deco, like he says, I think is just great for warming everything up, and it also can do some beautiful chorusing, flanging. So There's one more thing we haven't talked about.
And
that
then I'm going to
goes-
ask you about a piece of gear that's very prominent right now because you're wearing it.
Yes.
So,
yes. I haven't shown you much with this, but
yeah.
over here you can't really see it, but on my mic stand, I have mounted the same exact piece of gear that I had back in the 80s. It's called the Electro Harmonics Echo Flanger. And the beautiful thing about it that I discovered when I first started using it, it has a section called, you know, there's a slapback delay, there's chorus, there's flange. You can get this switch, if you do it correctly, to get stuck between those settings. And then you can start doing some really fun stuff with it. And that's what I do. So you can, if you were over here, you'd see I've already put the dots on so I know where to go to get the different sounds. And you know, that's what this will do for me. I don't know how much stuff you want me to demonstrate, but let's go
well, I'd
here
just like
for a
you to talk
moment.
about that guitar. I mean, that's such a historic instrument. Can you tell us about how it was birthed and, you know, what it's meant to you over the years? And
It started out as a plain wood Mustang, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but then I realized I needed to somehow be able to play guitar through that. I didn't have the
through the
synths.
JR300.
So we put all the guts in it. Along the way, my friend Dave Story showed me his new tremolo system, the Kaler, and we put that on there. The lace sensor people jumped in the boat with me and said, well, let's give you some really quiet pickups here, and away we go. And so then I gave it to my friend. This is when I lived in Urbana, Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. Mike Getz, friend of mine, was an artist, and he painted it for me. And this is his artwork. This is the kind of stuff he loved to do, and I've always loved it. So then we had that, and we put it all back together with the pickup in there and everything. The only thing that's changed about it, I put some new Spurzels on it.
Okay.
And I think he and maybe Joe, I think you were the one who tweaked it a little bit. Plays really well now. Stays in tune pretty well. And that's it. So it has all the knobs that you would normally need for the synth guitar. Like this will do like the tones for the synthesizer. This will do the resonance. This turns on different versions. This is just the hexaphonic pickup. This is the hexaphonic and the synth. And then this is just the synth. So
Okay.
I'll show you a little bit here. For example, so now we're in just synth mode, and that's the kind of stuff you can get just with the synth. But what I've always done with the synth is modulate it with effects. And so that's what we do. I don't really, you want, can you? Let's do, you know what, let's do Dig Me.
But don't bury us.
Now, Dig Me was one of the songs that that's the echo flanger, if you let it go wild, which I sometimes do, but I'm going to change it now to the setting. There you go, really quickly, I've got it. There's the setting for Dig Me. And the thing about Dig Me, it's one of those songs where I tune up that tuning I was telling you. So you got bring the synth in. Let's show them another one. Could you? Let's bring up Man Behind the Curtain. Man, this one you might recognize. Nope, that's not in there. It's just this guy. Yeah. And That is the Nemesis acting as a 12-string kind of harmonizer. I realized when I first got it, if you turned all the knobs off and turned just the pitch all the way to 12, you have a 12-string sound. It's a very good one. Very nice. I like it.
Great. And that's the sound from Man with an Open Heart.
Yeah,
basically.
Man with an Open Heart from the third record, Three of a Perfect Pair.
Yep.
I didn't start using this guitar until the second record, Beat, because that's when I made the Twang Bar King record, and that's when this guitar was made. So the first record I used my old Strat, and I was going to bring the old Strat on this tour, but I realized if you take your two most valuable guitars out, then there's the possibility you'll lose both of them. Yeah. Well, I just decided not to do that.
Well, you know, I know you mentioned that that's an Adrian Belew model, Parker as well.
Yeah.
Well, can you talk about the specific appointments on that make it your signature model?
Yes. First of all, I felt like Ken Parker had taken 20 years to eliminate all the things that normally happen with electric guitars, all the problems you have, the tuning, the neck, the frets wearing out, just everything that normally can go wrong with a Fender or a Gibson. He figured it all out. So to me, and this guitar weighs 5 pounds, to me, the Parker Fly was a perfect guitar, and I took to it like a duck. I love the tremolo. Finally, a tremolo that stayed in tune, and it also had some nice bells and whistles already. But what I wanted to change about it, I couldn't play it. I had it for a number of years, the one they first gave me, and I couldn't play it on stage because I used synth stuff, and I needed a 12, a 13 pin like that. So I called Ken Parker and I said, I've really been wanting to use your guitar. I love it so much, but I need a synthesizer guitar. Is there any way we could do something about it? And he said, I need a MIDI guitar is what I said. He said, well, that's funny because when we first brought it out, it was supposed to be a MIDI guitar. It was built to be that because the way the body is shaped, it has perfect resonance, which is another thing people don't realize. Even the headstock has a part to do with it. It just resonates. When you play the guitar without it being plugged in, it sounds almost like an acoustic guitar. Anyway, he said they were going to have it be a MIDI guitar, but it already had so much difference. It was so shocking, revolutionary, that they thought, well, let's save that. So they did that for me. It took 2.5 years to get that done. More than that, because the guy that was doing it passed away during that, and so then they had to reverse engineer it. It took 4 years. And so what I did at the same time, I said, I just want the most modern things we can have now. So I was only changing the sound parts, not the guitar. And so that meant we put in the sustainer pickup that my friend had invented. And we put in the Variac system, which was brand new at that point from line 6, so you could get all these different sounds with it. And it already had the what do you call that pickup? Piezo pickup. And so with this guitar, you could just about do everything. It's got a vacuum cleaner attachments on the back. It's just
Coffee
got
maker.
It all, yeah.
Yeah.
And I swear this guitar never goes out of tune, plays beautifully. I play better with the Parker Fly. That's all I've said. To me, it's like, I can't explain it better than that. It makes me play better. But I'm loving this baby a lot now too, having it back in my hands. It's like, wow, this is great.
Adrian, thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. Blair, thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Once
My
again,
pleasure.
I'm Ted Drozdowski, editorial director for Premier Guitar, and you can see so many great rig rundowns and other videos at premierguitar.com.
It's true.
Why are you not there 10 seconds from now?
I will be.
Hey, I'll go too.
All right, there we go.
Let's all go. All right, see you there.
The reason we only stock D'Addario strings is because D'Addario strings are perfect.
When people come in here, they think that we get them for free or something like that, but we don't. We have no other reason except for dependability and tone.